Let's do it.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Afrocentric versus Eurocentric bodies, beauty standards. So, what did you find about either or that you want to share?
I'm not gonna lie,
Hmm.
I did not even know where to start for researching this. I was like, what do I look up? Because any opinion I find online
Mm-hmm.
is gonna be biased towards Eurocentric, more than likely, unless it's like literally written from a person from a country, um, like a black, predominantly black, majority black country. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably gonna be biased, and even then, they might still be biased because of like programming and media and stuff impacting their views.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I had a hard time finding stuff, so I just decided to just wing it or
Okay.
just go with whatever you found
Mm.
and give my 2 cents.
Okay. So, I have basically, again, I have like textbook stuff that I found that like got to my eyes. So, Eurocentrism is defined by a viewpoint where European culture is looked upon favorably and biased against non Western civilizations. Western beauty ideals include being thin and tall, having long hair, having light tanned skin, having big breasts, large eyes, a small nose, and high cheekbones. So, in other stuff I read, even in places like Africa, they were conforming to Eurocentric standards of beauty by straightening their hair, buying store bought hair, becoming thin, and changing their skin tone to that of light or medium.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's what we're used to. That's the world we live in. No comment.
I, I don't, I just want to know, like, well, why? Like, why them? You know, and it could just be the way history played out.
I
You know,
think that exactly why is like
yeah.
because I feel like black people when we were in Africa or other places wherever we we had our wars, but we weren't like interested in conquering the world and stuff like that. Whereas white people were like, I want to take everything. Everything is mine.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I think somebody said something that I think might be true. It
Mm-hmm.
was on TikTok. They were saying that um, Anglo people with Anglo history, they came from a world of scarcity.
Mm.
So everything that they got, they had to like basically take from someone else.
Gotcha.
Whereas people of color, black people, we came from places with abundance, like
Mm.
a lot of resources, basically. So we never felt a need to like go and take from other people. I mean,
Okay.
we had our little like internal squabbles, like territories, like squabbles, but we never had to like we have to take from other people to survive.
Mm.
And so I think that that mentality of we need to survive by taking from other people is what kind of grew into let's conquer the world and let's dominate everybody else.
Mm. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. But then there are people who are just greedy as well, that just wanting more for themselves. And then you could also marry into it and get more and then spread whatever you want to spread that way as well. And that's more on the male dominated side than just the race side. So that also plays a factor as well.
Yeah, I also kind of want to read into like cultural societal norms. Like for instance, in Black cultures, I wonder if it was more community based.
Oh,
So it's like we want to be a community, look out for each other. It's more like everybody looking out for everybody else. And I
mm,
wonder if in white cultures, if it was more like everyone for themselves. And the richer you are, the more value you have. So you should just worry about yourself and not worry about people who are poor. Like I wonder if that's a true thing or if that's just something that I feel happened.
I have the same feeling like the village raises the child. I feel like that's more like an African thing where you have like a village and that's there's no households. There's a households, but that's not the end all. It goes to the village, and the village takes care of everybody within that village. And I think that that was making us lean towards thinking that maybe it's more of a bigger family than just the family that's in your house. That's just how I feel.
Yeah. I wonder if anybody in chat have something to say about this, or anybody in the comments have something to say about this, because I really feel like even if you look at how much Black people love church, is because of that sense of community. I feel like we're a very community-driven people. Like we want to build relationships and bonds,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's the same. I feel like humans in general have that feeling, like naturally,
Mhm.
because we are social creatures. But I feel like we actually lean into it. Whereas I feel I don't want to keep like making this a black versus white thing though. But I feel like most like even Asian cultures are very family oriented, very community oriented. But I don't get a vibe from European countries. Like I don't ever like hear of like, oh, I live with my family. Like me, my uncles, my aunt. Well, that's not good enough for her. I still live with my mom because I want to help take care of the house and help her around the
Mhm.
house. Like I
Yeah.
don't hear that from like white families.
Mhm.
You know.
To Afrocentric and what I found on Afrocentric. In pre-African slavery, hair was seen as something of pride. Prior to European involvement on beauty standards, kinky hair was seen as a blessing. Intricate styling through hair, braids, and twists were worn as signs of status and beauty. In West Africa, in particular, hairstyle was used as a form of non-verbal communication. The more intricate a style of braiding was, specifically in regards to the use of objects such as straw, and particularly in the Gold Coast, Ghana, weaving hair with golden strands of yarn showed signs of royalty and high status. Hair was also used as a means of showing one's position. If someone was in mourning or were a fisherman, hairstyles were worn in variations as such. That's deep.
Yo, I feel like here, black woman here is still whatever they just said. I kind of forgot half of what you said, but
It's
I
okay.
still think it is because
So,
I love natural hair.
so
Dude.
what we're both gonna do right now is rewind ourselves back to the beginning of the podcast and include hair into our attraction parameters. We didn't mention it at all.
I don't care about hair. Like in terms of like picking somebody beauty, I love hair in its natural form, but I don't
Mm,
use it to decide if a person is beautiful or not.
I think I do. I think I'd have to decide between somebody with natural hair versus somebody with unnatural hair. I would more than likely pick the natural hair 9 out of 10 times.
Oh, I think what I meant to say is like a lot of people are obsessed with like long hair and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
I could date a woman who's completely bald, like
Oh
completely
yeah,
shaved.
I've done
Like
that
that's what
too.
I mean when I say
Yeah.
hair. But in terms of like natural versus perm, it depends. Some women have permed hair and it looks really nice,
Hmm.
and some women have permed hair and then they have the struggle bun, and it's like, bruh, just go natural. If you're gonna struggle bun it, at least stay natural. Like, why you doubling down on the ugly? Like, what's going on? You know
You
what I'm saying?
wild, you wild.
Your hair can't fit in a scrunchie. You gotta use a rubber
Oh
band. Like, come
man.
on, stop it.
Mm-mm. Okay. Um, there's also a lot more on Afrocentric because I feel like I should look into more into Afrocentric because I don't really see it as much. Um, so this one has to do with Pan African studies. That is the reason such a woman who was given an inner beauty, Uyai Isit Idem, but lack an exterior beauty, Uyai Akap Iso, would pad up her beauty with accessories and oils in order to appear to have a complete beauty. So it's saying in Africa that beauty is not just about what's on the outside, but what's on the outside trumps what's on the inside.
Hmm, I see. Interesting. So I guess Africa has a more holistic approach to beauty.
Mhm.
Although I think that's true. Yeah, I think generally speaking, well, I think for me it's the reverse.
Mhm.
But I think generally speaking, a person's beauty, like someone could be like a 10 on a scale, right? Like, man, that girl have all the check boxes.
Mhm.
But then her personality is just trash. And then she drops to like a 2 because it's like,
Yep, that's fair.
so. And I think that's even more true for men as in terms of women picking a guy.
Yeah.
He could be the hottest guy, but if he's a D star K,
Mhm.
then you're probably not going to want to interact with him
Well,
unless
that
you're really shallow.
depends. That
Unless you're
depends.
really shallow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends, as you said.
I find in that there's a lot of things that are very subjective and also very vague. But I like that we are at least trying to break down, like, why don't we see this? Like in the videos we watch to try and find content, it was hard to find a mix of, everybody together and let's actually rank beauty. Even though that's kind of objectifying, it's sometimes fun to do that. And Idris Elba was the only black guy on that list. And I feel like there's more people who could be there, but I guess they're not celebrities or well known. But even so, he was the only one out of 20. That's 5%. That's not good.
Yo, I would say most black actors are really good looking. Like, what are they talking about?
Hmm.
Like, they missed Will Smith. They missed Denzel Washington.
Hmm.
Like,
And
that's the one
Denzel,
too.
Denzel isn't all, he not all that, but mix his acting with his looks and his
His
personality, and
personality.
yeah, and then there you go.
Yeah, I think his personality is a big part of why he's attractive.
Yes, it's
Um,
just
even Bozeman, what his first name was again?
Chadwick.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy too. Like,
Hmm.
come on, are you trolling?
Like, how does Tom Holland get there? Like, he still looks like he's in high school. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's just some
and it just goes to show you the Afrocentric versus Eurocentric look. Peace.
peace.